Hello. Good morning again. It's Carol Simon here. I am your Generation X Freedom Coach, former accountant turned independent digital entrepreneur. And I help Generation X and anyone curious enough to learn understand modern technology, blockchain, and AI so they can build their financial confidence and long-term freedom without overwhelm and without hype. So welcome to my live viewers and also to my replay viewers. If you're joining me live, do say hi in the comments and let me know where you're joining from. I'm going to ask you a question. When you hear the word crypto, what's the first word that pops into your head? And you can also answer this question if you're a replay viewer too. Drop #replay in the chat so I can come back to you later and say hello. So I wonder what that first word is. Is it Bitcoin? For most people it is, because that's all they know. But before we go into that, we're going to just do a recap on last week and also a small disclaimer. So last week we talked about a very real problem, people with no pension, people with a small pension or with no emergency fund, and how technology and AI can now help everyday people rebuild their own long-term financial plans. But today we're tackling another big mental block. If you think that Bitcoin was a one-off opportunity, you may be missing the bigger picture. Technology doesn't stop evolving, and neither does opportunities. So in this live, we're going to talk about why being open-minded to newer, faster, and more sustainable blockchain technologies could matter more than chasing yesterday's bygones or yesterday's success. It's not a bygone, but but now it's mainly the big institutions that are winning in Bitcoin. The retail small person, the everyday person, they can't win as big as those who did many years ago. But a quick note before we begin. I'm not a financial advisor, and this is for educational purposes only. I'm sharing information and insights that I've learned to help you learn and to help you make informed decisions. Not personalized financial advice. Just remember that. Always do your own research and choose what's right for you. So I'm going to go into 3 key points. So Bitcoin was the very first chapter. Bitcoin is known as the grandfather of cryptocurrency, but it's not the whole book. And there are many other cryptocurrencies that have followed since. But Bitcoin opened the door, but it didn't end the story. Technology always evolves. First of all, you have the internet, then we have mobiles, then we have apps, and now we have AI. So it's the same with blockchain. With Bitcoin being the grandfather, we now have newer blockchains. We have Ethereum, we have Solana, we have so many new, and now we have Ethereum even. And with those new blockchains, you get smarter systems. But thinking Bitcoin is over, or have I missed it? Assumes that nothing else will ever come. And history tells us that's never true. So here's a more simpler way of sharing that. Just because the first iPhone came out years ago doesn't mean that phones stopped improving. I'm not sure what the current iPhone is now. Is it iPhone 16? There's so many new versions, and people now wouldn't want to go back to the old version. They want the brand new one. So similarly, newer blockchains, they solve old problems. So you have some newer technologies. They are faster. Transactions take place now in seconds, not minutes. Have you noticed how long it takes for a Bitcoin transaction to complete? It's not instant. Also, technologies now are cheaper, pennies instead of pounds, and they are more environmentally friendly, which the whole world is talking about. And they are designed for real use, not just hype. Now, Bitcoin was brilliant for its time, and it still has its use today. But newer systems are built for now and for what's coming next, because the world is moving to blockchain. And this is where early adopters usually position themselves. So remember, opportunities come from education, not from guessing. Getting in early doesn't mean gambling, but getting in early means learning how to evaluate technology, number one, and also means understanding real world use, because now blockchain technology is now being used for real world use and for watching the development, not headlines. The biggest mistake people make is closing their mind because something feels unfamiliar. But an open mind spots opportunities early. Closed minds only notice them when everyone else is talking about them, when it's all been hyped up, and then it's too late. So think early. So thinking Bitcoin was the only opportunity is like thinking Amazon was the only online shop that would ever exist. And we know that there are many more now that are competing with Amazon. It wasn't. It was just the first big one. So here's my thoughts for you today, or my action for you today. Drop open in the comments if you're willing to learn about new technologies and not just old headlines. Or drop curious if this conversation has you thinking differently already. I hope it has. So here's my quick summary and then a point of action. Bitcoin started the movement, it didn't finish it. Newer technologies are faster, they're cheaper, and they are definitely much greener. And education and open-mindedness creates early opportunity. So here's my last call to action. If you'd like to learn how to spot emerging technologies and to understand what actually matters, not just hype, comment, learn, or Zoom, and I will invite you to the next live session where we break this down step by step. Or you can just click my link here on my left. And so next Tuesday, we're going to talk about a concept that underpins all long-term wealth, whether it's pensions, whether it's property or digital assets. It's compounding, the eighth wonder of the world, the quiet engine behind financial freedom. I'll see you then. Thanks for joining. Take care.